Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
All right. Welcome to Dion's Daily Dose, the first actual official Triple D for my candidacy for Indiana House District 9. So, welcome. To those of you that don't really know who I am, maybe you didn't pay attention for the 1st District Congress race, maybe you just happened upon me. My name is Dion Bergeron, and I am running for Indiana House District 9. What is District 9? Who am I? Why am I here? All these, right? So Indiana, I'll show you real quick, is broken up into a multitude of districts, just like any other state, right? Let's get this shared here real quick before I get into who I am. Let's show you what we're dealing with. So as you can see here, I'm at the iga.in.gov site. This is actually the Indiana General Assembly official site. And as you can see here, Indiana District 9 is this right here. You can see the 9 on the screen, right? And it stretches, and zoom out just a tiny bit, all the way up, into the lake, all the way down to the border with Wanata there on US 30. Goes into Chesterton, Westville, Aleta, Pinhook, Waterford, Trail Creek, Michiana Shores, the Dunes National Park, most of it, right? Town of Pines, Beverly Shores, and a lot of farmland, a whole lot of farmland that, people tend to not really consider, not really think about. Once again, I'm going to tell you, it's kind of funny. If you go over here and you go east over here, right? I actually have a family that owns a farm out here in Rolling Prairie. Once again, just like with the 1st Congressional District, they are out of my voting block once again, but it is what it is. Jack, good to see you. By the way, thank you. I was involved in something. I wasn't able to come and meet you, and the dog was freaking out and all that. Jack was kind enough to drop off something for me. Paul, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. So let me show you what we're kind of looking at here. Again, it goes all the way into Chesterton, and the nice part about this particular map is you can zoom in, you can see exactly where all of these little streets, the names of them, right? From Waverly Road, the southeast side of Woodlawn Avenue, right? Broadway, Lincoln, Morgan, Coffee Creek Park, Sand Creek Drive, St. Francis Episcopal Church, the playground down here, County Road 1225, got Wykes Plampin Nature Preserve, East Arm, Little Calumet River, right? All of this is District 9, my district. Purdue University Northwest in Westville, right? All of Michigan City, pretty much. Trail Creek, again, Waterford, Michiana Shores, all the way over here to I-94 is the actual border for District 9. Although it's kind of weird right here. It cuts in on, that's 500 West, I believe. 500, yeah. And then 750, it makes that weird jagged line. But in general, this is the area for House District 9. So a quick recap of, yes, Paul, absolutely. If you would like a yard sign, regardless of whether you live in my area, I will try to make sure that you get that. I have no problem with people wanting, because hey, look, I had people in Laporte that wanted my sign, even though they were out of the first district. By all means, people go back and forth to Laporte. They drive all around the uh, area the whole time, right? Northwest Indiana, from one side to the other, up and down. Uh, Name recognition. We saw name recognition matters. So for those of you not familiar with who I am yet, my name is Dion Bergeron. I live in Michigan City, Indiana. I've lived here for almost my entire life. I moved up here when I was 10 years old with my mom, and for the vast majority of my adult life, I have lived in Michigan City, LaPorte County, and the surrounding area. I actually, when I was I was a truck driver for almost 10 years. I was a correctional officer right here at Indiana State Prison for 7. I did real estate. I'm a regular guy, just like you, middle class, lower middle class, somewhere in there. And I'm no better than you are. I don't think I'm any better than you are. And I think that that's one problem that we see with a lot of our legislators. They seem to have this mistaken idea that they are somehow superior to the rest of us. We see it especially in Washington, but it isn't just restricted to Washington. We see these people that once elected, they seem to believe that it puts them above the rest of us, right? And it can really create a massive disconnect with the rest of society. We've seen the kind of issues that are coming up all across the United States, and look, some of it we know is intentional. We have buildings that are being burned to the ground, police stations getting set on fire. Now, I do want to talk about that just a little bit, because there seems to be this belief that you cannot support the police and still believe that there are issues there, right? I am all about the amendments to the Constitution and the Constitution itself. I firmly believe in all of the amendments. But let's take the fourth, right? I can still support law enforcement, especially on a county level, because those are elected, which lines up with the Constitution. I actually saw a post, just real quick. I saw a post where a conservative had said, I do not, how can I say that I kind of support defunding the police, but yet I'm a conservative? Well, county sheriffs are actually the only law enforcement that is actually in the Constitution. So the county sheriff is an elected official. They answer to the public. If we don't like what they're doing, we get rid of them, right? We don't like the way the sheriff's doing things, you're out of there. City police departments are a little different. Now, I am not one of those that say, cut it all, get rid of them. And bear in mind, too, that we've seen such a massive push. We had the very same people that were telling us, you don't need a gun, but the police can have guns. The police are there to protect you. Why would you need a gun? Just call 911. Look at what happened in Chicago. The mayor actually came out publicly and said, you concealed carry permit holders, don't defend yourselves, just call 911, right? But when you call 911, the system is vastly overwhelmed. I don't know if you've had a chance to see, but there's actually a transcript and a recording of the various precinct people, councilmen and women across the city of Chicago, and they were talking to the mayor, and they were like, "Look, it's going nuts out here. What are you going to do about it?" And the mayor was pretty much like, "Sorry about your luck." Right? It's an insane. It reads like fiction. It really does. You read it and you're like, did this really happen? And allegedly it did. I'll have to dredge that up. The wife was actually showing me that just the other night. I'll share it on my page so you'll get a chance to read that. But what values do I represent? It's a good question, and let's kind of start with that. First of all, I am a fiscal conservative. I believe that I'm a constitutional Republican. I believe that the Constitution should always be the law, and other laws are, to a large extent, are extraneous. Now, a lot of these laws were created because situations came up where it became necessary. In many instances, not all, but in many instances, the situation came up where it was necessary for these laws to be created. So I'm not saying abolish all laws, but I always found it interesting how people celebrate the the signing of laws. How more laws on the books means that you're an effective legislator. The the issues that I see with that is quantity does not equal quality, right? Uh, so I don't know that I'm going to be focused in trying to get as many laws on the books as possible in my first term. But at the same time, you should definitely be an effective legislator, right? You should be able to get things done if those things need to be done. One of the things that I believe needs to be done, and I'm going to go into this in its own video, but I don't know, for those of you that are not aware of the direct care industry, there are people that go to people's houses to provide assistance to them. Uh, People, for example, with developmental disabilities, such as autism or conditions like that, right? And in many cases, these people cannot take care of themselves. They're not able to exist fully on their own. Um, Sometimes, senior citizens, sometimes with Alzheimer's, stuff like that, or the ones that are it's getting hard for them to get around, they'll have someone come in to help them grocery shop, to help them keep the house clean, to sometimes bathe them, things like that. Uh, uh, Paul, yeah. Oh my goodness, that guy. Um, so there actually is not, the way the law is set up, when you get terminated from a job in the state of Indiana, which you can be terminated for anything, it's called an at-will employment state. But in this industry, the home healthcare industry, there is a there I should say that there's not a registry, and I believe that there should be. Let's say this person is working with your Aunt Margaret, right? And Aunt Margaret is consistently, when they work with this person, Aunt Margaret is consistently having bruises on her and has fallen multiple times, is having issues, right? Well, there's a there's a process that has to be followed in this industry. There are investigations. There are actual. Uh, there's a specific process. Here's the issue, right? Let's say this person is found guilty through the process of abuse or neglect, and they get terminated. That isn't transmitted to any other agency. There is no central database where, let's say, person gets fired from company A, they go to company B, fill out an application, they call company A because it's listed, and they say, hey, did this person work there? The only things people are allowed to say are yes or no, right? You can ask, did this person work there? Are the dates that they gave me accurate? You can give yes or no answers. And then you can ask, would you hire them again? And that's it. That's the way the law is written. Um, so is that fair? Right now, for most jobs, yeah, that's pretty fair, right? Because we don't want our employers spreading their impressions of us that are not based in fact. Unfortunately, with this particular industry, because there's such a process to get to that, right, it becomes a fact. So this person can get hired by company B and go on to do the very same thing, and there's no accountability, there's no database, there's no protection for the clients that are potentially at risk. Exactly, Paul. Libel. exactly, because when you about former employees, it creates a lot of situations. Um, and I'm not saying open that up, right, at all. What I am saying is a database that with proof a person could and I believe should be added to this database so that other people who, and we're talking about people who can't defend themselves. We're not talking about working at McDonald's and you get fired because didn't put enough fries in the bag, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a person who has abused or neglected someone who can't defend themselves. And it is personal to me because when I was a kid, I was really, really big for my age. In fourth grade, I was almost 6 feet tall. I was, pretty much as big as I am now, broad shouldered. I could have very easily been a bully, but I was like the opposite, right? I gravitated towards the kids that needed help. My best friend in fourth grade was this little tiny guy, and that's just how it was, right? I gravitated towards those people because I never had to worry about that. So it's just who I am, and it infuriates me when people who are unable to take care of themselves are preyed upon and taken advantage of and abused. Ugh. Anyway, so that's one thing that I would really like to see. It's a legislative action that I would like to take. Um, I hope that most of you feel the same way. I think it's really important. Like I said, I'll do a more involved video specifically on that, and we'll talk about pros and cons of it. The other thing that I'd like to say is we are seeing a surge across the nation of far left ideology, right? We are seeing buildings burned, statues destroyed, being torn down. We are seeing indoctrination from our university. We are seeing this far left mentality. That there's been a lot of confusion as far as the label liberal and conservative and progressive and all this stuff. I'm talking about the people that don't believe that capitalism has produced any positive results, that communism and socialism are a positive force that can be used in this country to achieve positive change. Those are the people that I'm talking about. I think we have serious issues with that philosophy. We have seen the deaths of millions and millions of people at the hands of socialism slash communism. Because what is a socialist but a patient communist? Remember that the left seems to be in control of our higher education system. And I don't mean liberals. I don't mean people that seemingly stand for equality for all, because that's really what liberalism is. In Abraham Lincoln's day, right? He would have been considered a liberal. Um, so I don't. There's a lot. Absolutely, Paul. None of them are used accurately at all. Uh, I think that we can all agree that people should be treated equally. There should not be any race, sex, gender, or any of that is treated better or worse than anyone else. We should all be, across the board. Um, let me give you this link real quick for this website so I can close it. I'm going to share a couple of pictures real quick of the Indiana State House. For those of you who have not been there, it is actually amazing. It is absolutely beautiful. I had to go down there to file paperwork, and I was able to get a handful of pictures while I was there. Let me see here. Yep, here it is. Okay, so let me show you the pictures that I was able to take real quick of the Indiana State House down in Indianapolis. So there's the actual old seal. There is the vaulted ceiling inside the state house. It is absolutely gorgeous. The stained glass and the statues. This is the kind of history that people want to destroy now. Uh, who knows? I'm sure one of these statues offends someone and therefore should not be allowed to survive. But if you look at the architecture on this, this is all carved out. It's absolutely stunning. Um, this is across the way here are the governor and secretary of state's offices. I believe that's what I was told. This is outside. This is actually where I took my photo initially for the congressional run. I mean, just look at this: the Indiana flag, the U.S. flag, and then the marble statues, history, art, justice. It's look at that. See, justice. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I also got a bunch of pictures of the statues around the perimeter of the location, and there, of course, that's me. That's actually in the LaPorte County complex. Uh, so when I went to do the caucus, which was actually pretty cool. Um, it was an experience. If nothing else, all of this is an amazing experience. For those of you kind of following along, I'm trying to get the name of my Facebook page switched over to Dion for Indiana. Not an issue on Instagram, not an issue on Twitter, but of course, Facebook, of course, has to maintain that absolute, control. I agree, Paul. I definitely would like to get back with Gun Guy and Mr. Relford. He he's a smart guy. I think we had a very very fruitful conversation last time, and I think we can definitely improve on that. One of the other things that I would like to do that actually directly relates to that is I'd like our red flag laws to be examined in even greater detail and fix some issues there. I don't know if you noticed this. I've been paying more close attention to the attorney general's race than most people, being that I'm a delegate. But the guy running on the Democrat side says he wants to quote close the loopholes in the Indiana red flag. Now that concerns me because as it stands, I feel like we already have uh, the reverse of due process. We have people that make accusations, and these accusations are assumed to be true before any kind of legislative action, any kind of trial, any kind of anything. Now, it's been stressed, and I do want to point out that Indiana, we do have it better than other states, right? Law enforcement officials have to be involved in this. It can't just be Karen from down the street that says he's scary. It can't just be that. Law enforcement actually has to be involved in it. But is it enough? Right? Is it enough? Does it stand up to constitutional scrutiny? That's my question. And the Constitution of the United States, the Fourth Amendment, right? Protection from unreasonable search and seizure. We should have a trial before we have our rights suspended temporarily. And in this case, I think we are backwards, right? Oh, you are a dangerous individual. We're going to take your stuff away. Well, where's the proof? We'll get to that, right? We'll get to that. Initially, we're just going to take it from you. No. I don't like the way that it is at all. I think we can do much better. So our current legislator for Indiana District 9 is a very, very left individual. And let's just say we don't agree politically. But one thing I will say is that I understand that I'm not just going to represent the right, assuming I get elected, of course, just like I said, in the first congressional district, I'm going to represent all of the district. There are people that are on the far left political ideology. There are people on the far right, and everyone in the middle, right? I represent all of them. And I listen to all of you. It's important because we have a lot of people. Nope. Hold on. That's my, I think it's just going to have to go. Yeah. You might hear it a little bit. It's all right. It should hopefully stop. I'm trying to stop this alarm. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot that I had well, wrong way. There we go. My apologies. About time to wrap this up anyway. No, it was my oh no. One of the things that I was told and was repeatedly told was do not give the name of your opponent because it just reinforces name recognition. So I will say that it is a well-known name in this area. If you really want to know, you can look it up. But their political ideology is very, 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 and we see what that is doing all across the country. We see what that is heralding in. We see the destruction. We see the issues that are coming about and the decoupling from reality that is happening on an unprecedented scale all across the country. So I think it's time that we get someone reasonable into office, that we get someone who can work with all sides, and most importantly, can actually accomplish something legislatively. Regardless of reason, right? Them being on the left, them being a Democrat, they are in the minority in the House, and they're not able to accomplish anything. They're not able to get anything done. We could talk for hours about the reasons for that. Is it just because they're a minority? Is it because the things that they propose are so out there that there's no way it's going to get done? Maybe both. But I will tell you that as your representative, I can actually work with the legislators that are there in order to get things done that benefit our region, that actually make things better for us, because that's the key for me. A lot of times we see these legislators that create these laws that don't apply to them. That's not what I'm about. It's any law that I even vote on, much less sponsor. Any law that I vote on, my first question is, okay, this law affects me. How do I feel about it? Right? Because I don't think laws should even be possible that don't affect the people that make those laws. I'm going to make that very clear. And it's something that I've talked about before with U.S. Congress. A lot of these people, they make these laws and it doesn't affect them. It has nothing to do with them. They don't care. So kind of to wrap up, I'm going to tell you I have my my campaign committee that is established. I have people that are serving on the committee, and I am also taking names for volunteers for door knocking in the area. Once again, I'm going to show you real quick what area we are talking about here. So the area of District 9, right, again, goes all the way the corner up here and Interstate 94 and Michigan right up there, right, goes all across the lakefront, all the way down through Beverly Shores and all the way almost to Dune Acres, right? and then it goes south, kind of back and forth into Chesterton, skips around the tourism, but at the junction of 94 and 49, that's all part of the district. Little bit over here, right, comes down Coffee Creek, 49 to East 1100 North is the cutoff, but it kind of loops up and around, and then it drops way down here to East 600 North and encompasses Westville. So I actually have multiple multiple correctional facilities. Oh man, I forgot this again. There we go. Okay. Hopefully this isn't too far out of. I got to remember to turn that off completely before I start these. I was out of the mix for a little bit, right? Took a little bit of time off and got a little discombobulated. Yeah, we're going to be doing some more. We're going to be doing some more shirts. We're going to get some signs going. I actually got the new vinyl for the back of my truck, which Jack was kind enough to help me out with. I just got to make sure I line it up. I'm very OCD. It has to be perfect. That's going to take me a while to get the tape and the measuring and all that lined up. Hopefully it'll be a nice day tomorrow. I can get that done. I have the website to do. I was actually planning on sending out my press release. I don't know if I'm going to do that tonight or if I am going to wait until my website is fixed. We'll see. But remember, the hashtag is now hashtag Dion for Indiana. And you can, the website's still the same. Yeah. If here's the thing, right? If I thought he could actually, make it right, I probably would. If you have any questions about where I sit politically, about what my goals are for District 9, if you just want to chat, email me, talk@dionbergeron.com. See if there's some stuff that you want to know, if there's some things you want to find out about, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I respond. I am the person who responds to my social media. I am the person that responds to my email. So I do not shuffle that off to people. It's all me. So I will continue that. And like I said before, I don't know if I will be able to maintain every single social media by myself. I think so. I think it'll be much less intense for this than it is for Congress, where you have like 18 staff members. It's craziness. What do they really do? Do they need that many people? That's a conversation for another time. But thank you very much for joining me once again. And I'm going to be making some short issue oriented videos and releasing them on my page in the near future after I get my website situated and get all that done. So once again, God bless you, God bless Indiana, and God bless the USA.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.